A drop of mingled sperm. Sperm, one half the building block of life, undeniably is worthy of mention, and in this topic we aim to do justice as such. Sperm fluid contains hundreds of thousands of mobile spermatozoa. Each spermatozoon contains an elliptical protruding head, a neck, and a lashing tail that allows for it to reach the female's ovum, where fertilization takes place. A spermatozoa exits the male's genital organ into the female's vagina. They swim until reaching the fallopian tube, where the woman's ovum is located. This is the moment at which fertilization occurs. Only a small quantity of spermatozoa survives the journey, and only a single spermatozoon will be successful in penetrating the ovum. Immediately after impregnation, the membrane surrounding the ovum will change so as to prevent any other spermatozoa from entering the ovum. The fertilized ovum now evolves to form a zygote. At this stage, the cells within will begin to divide into smaller cells called blastomas. Within 4 days, a sphere of cells called the morula forms, and approximately 5 days after the initial fertilization, the blastocyst will come into their own existence. It has proved extremely difficult to discover all of these intricate details due to the minute fetal stages involved during the first weeks of pregnancy. This problem has delayed the discovery of these facts until the invention of the microscope during the 17th century. However, a divine book has described with great accuracy these scientific facts over 11 centuries before their initial discovery. Let us look back on the first days of a fetus's existence and the facts as stated in the Quran and the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad. The first fact, the 8th verse of Surat As-Sajdah, states, "And made his progeny from a quintessence, sulala, of the nature of a fluid despised, mahin." The fluid despised mentioned in this verse refers to that of the sperm fluid, whilst sulala is, linguistically speaking, the essence of something. In this case, the spermatozoon, which is the essence of the sperm fluid. Sulala may also be interpreted as a fish, a shape perfectly matching that of a spermatozoon shape, which swims in the seminal fluid, just like a fish. The second fact, spermatozoa move towards the fallopian tube in order to meet the ovum, which in turn moves with the aid of the woman's follicular fluid, which flows into the uterus. The 5th and 6th verses of Surat At-Tariq states, "Now let man but think from what he is created. He is created from a drop emitted, dafak, proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs." Dafak is a term meaning emission. This verse confirms that the sexual fluids of both the men and women are emitted from the gonads, located in the body where the backbone and the ribs meet. The third fact, fertilization is not established with the use of all of a man's ejaculated semen. It takes but one spermatozoon to pierce the ovum wall and fertilize the ovule. Sahih Muslim has reported in his book that the Prophet Muhammad said, "Not the whole quantity of sperm is responsible of the fetus creation." From this we understand that only one spermatozoon is responsible for the ovum's fertilization. This description almost identically matches the scientific explanation that we have already described. The fourth fact, the fertilized ovum's properties become similar in resemblance to that of a drop of water, known to scientists as the zygote. Allah the Mighty described in the 2nd verse of Surat Al-Insan, "We created man from a drop, nutfa, of mingled sperm, amshaj." Amshaj means, from a linguistic point of view, the mixtures, and within this context, the text refers to the blend of the male and female sexual fluids to produce a zygote. The 6th fact, human existence, or the first human cells, starts as a nutfa, or a drop. The 17th, 18th, and 19th verses of Surat Abasa state, "Woe to man, what hath made him reject God? From what stuff hath he created him? From a sperm drop, nutfa, He hath created him, and then mouldeth him in due proportions. Faqaddara. These verses highlight the fact that the fetus's cellular life begins as a nutfa, a drop of sperm. The seventh fact, the creation of the first cell is immediately followed by its genetic programming, or in other words, the determination of the fetus's genetic characteristics, referred to in the Quran by the word faqaddara, meaning the determination of the fetus's future characteristics, both hereditary and the acquired characteristics. The eighth fact, the gender of the fetus is determined during the nutfa stage, as is confirmed by the 45th and 46th verses of Surat An-Najm, that he did create in pairs, male and female, from a seed when lodged in its place. When the male nutfa, consisting of sperm, meets a female ovum, the gender of the fetus is determined, depending on the gender of the spermatozoon, which has fertilized the ovum. After having exposed these scientific facts and pairing them with the corresponding information as stated by the Quran and Sunnah, does one not wonder how it was that Prophet Muhammad had foreknowledge into all of these details? It can only have been a revelation from the Almighty.
So that the two hadiths that have been noted furnish us with a specific timetable for the main embryological development before 40 days. Again, the point has been made, I think, repeatedly by all the speakers this morning. These hadiths could not have been obtained on the basis of the scientific knowledge that was available at the time of their writing, and hence could support the hadiths reflecting the knowledge of God. Thank you very much. It follows, I think, that not only is there no conflict between genetics and religion, but in fact religion may guide science by adding revelation to some of